and gentlemen, yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Hey, welcome to Sports Unfolded, Season 2, Episode 47. As the year is winding down, my friend, Home Sweet Home is the title of this show. I am your host, Eric, with my main man over there, Ron. How are you?
Oh, I'm much healthier than I was last week, that's for sure. I don't even know what I was doing last week.
That was good. I'm glad you're feeling better. I hope you and your family had a great Thanksgiving, and everybody out there, I hope was able to enjoy that holiday.
Yeah, I
Manny,
watched football
thanks for
the whole
joining.
day.
We already got Manny on tonight. That's awesome. So normally our leadoff story is about one of the top stories going on in the sports world, but we're going to discuss the NFL action that happened last night. So Thursday night's games, there were 3 games on the tilt. We'll bring up that picture, the nice John Madden logo that was on every single
Oh my God.
field. But Buffalo Bills at Detroit Lions, New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys, and the New England Patriots at the Minnesota Vikings. Let's start with that early game, Ron. The Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions. Your thoughts on the game, some of the plays, some of the things that happened?
I'll tell you what, Detroit Lions really impressed me yesterday. They were in that game. They actually had a shot at winning that game. And I just think they have a team that might be able to do something next year if they go another season drafting the right players. And they did a good job, especially like with Hutchinson. I mean, he's such a good player.
And they still haven't got Williamson back, the wide receiver from Alabama, because of the injury there.
Right.
So the thing was, though, with the Lions, I really think they're a good team. Yeah. I thought there were some coaching errors yesterday, and I like Dan Campbell. I think he's starting to grow on me as a coach. But I still feel like there's decisions that he made, and Manny just pointed out, right? That there was time where the time management cost them that game where they could have won that game and won 4 straight. At some point, he's either going to have to learn how to be a better coach. Cornelius, thanks for joining. So if you look at the fact that if we could get some coaching on Detroit that makes some wise decisions, you see Jared Goff and Kenny, we made fun of Kenny, but he's starting to play much better football for this team. Yeah. And they have some pieces that even on defense, like you said, Hutchinson, and you're starting to see that they can be motivated by Dan Campbell. He's just going to make some better decisions.
Right. And I think, look, I mean, he's got to learn as well. And he is growing with the team. And I think the team kind of respects them for that, because like he knows he's not perfect, but he knows that those guys are playing for him, and he also knows that those guys are getting better and better every game.
Look, every year we say the same thing. It's the same old Detroit Lions. They're not anymore. And I think as we were talking yesterday, me and you were kind of chatting back and forth during the game. There's a good shot that they could win this division next year.
Yeah.
If they can build some of the right pieces, they are in content. Look, the Green Bay Packers have completely imploded.
Right.
Chicago's still not there. And Minnesota, in which we'll get to later on, it's almost like, a facade of what you're seeing. That I don't think their record really indicates if they're that. I don't think they're that good. I think they've gotten lucky at times and again made some right decisions during games that have actually helped them win. But their defense is not very good at all.
No, it's not. And when it comes time to play against playoff teams, that defense on the other side of the ball is going to be much more impressive. And if they have to run into a San Francisco or Philadelphia or Dallas
defenses,
I don't see them holding up at all.
We saw what happened with Minnesota against Dallas. Detroit, also, we can't forget. Look, they were the number one offense for a few weeks till they ended up facing New England and just had an extremely bad game and kind of fell
Right.
off a little bit. The key for me with Detroit as well is that even after that bad loss, and they lost a couple in a row, they found a way to turn it around and won 3 straight. That's a good sign of a team that's starting to learn how to win.
Right.
So, what about this New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys game? Your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I think, look, like New York has done a good job this
Oh,
year,
the
but when
halftime
it
show was
comes,
great. That's what it was. You love the Detroit halftime show.
oh my God, come on, that halftime is terrible. But look, I think the Giants can hang with anybody for at least a half.
Yeah.
And then after that, talent starts to shift towards the better team. And I mean, let's be real here. Like the Giants, have played well and above expectations.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
But when they're playing those quality teams, I mean, they've had to play Dallas. They hung for a while and then shot themselves in the foot. Mostly because they can't really move the ball. I'm sorry, they just can't really move the ball.
Yeah,
Like when they
Cornelius is
need
right.
to.
Dallas is a better team. If you look at the talent level on both sides, the New York Giants clearly do not have the talent the Dallas Cowboys have. But to me, the New York Giants were in this game and had an opportunity. This second half, though, they just seemed to fall apart and self-destructed on their own.
Right.
And again, they go as Barkley goes. Saquon Barkley doesn't run the ball well. They've lost 2 straight now.
Right. And it's just like when Cornelius said, Dallas is the better team. And eventually that wears down an opponent. It's just like in any sport. The talent can, will start off, even throughout the game. And then how long can the other team sustain it? And New York just couldn't sustain it. And then that's when the better team just starts sprinting ahead. It's just like in a race. If you watch a Usain Bolt, like people will hang with him the first half, and then he just cranks it into another gear and he just blows everybody away. That is no different than what we saw in the Dallas game. And I will say it's the Dallas game because they played a full game.
Yeah. Brian Daboll has done a very good job with the New York Giants.
Oh, absolutely.
But I will say this too. That team's going to be in some transition because they're still not sure what they're going to do with Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, free agent, right? So there may be an opportunity where, again, he is no longer with the team. So we don't know what's going to happen to the New York. This is the year they got to try to capitalize. The tough part of this, though, that they still got 2 games against Washington and 2 games against Philadelphia.
Yeah.
They really need to win some of those games. And if they do not, they obviously are not making the playoffs. What about the Dallas Cowboys, though? We've talked a lot about the Giants. The Dallas Cowboys, would you consider them contenders? Look, they've had 2 straight games now where they've looked pretty good. The offense is really starting. Dak, now that he's back, he's healthy. The offense has started to make their strides and become one of those top scoring offenses in the league again. The defense now, when you talk about Micah Parsons and what he means to that team, they have a legitimate superstar on the defensive side of the ball.
And Armstrong is playing well, too. I mean, he had a great game yesterday. And I can't even think. Oh my God! I just went blank with the defensive back.
Diggs?
Oh, Diggs. Yes, I'm like all I can think of is Stefan, but
that's his brother. Yeah.
Well, you have one. You have a star player in each level.
Yeah.
And that is Lawrence, important.
Yeah. So Cornelius asked, who are our picks for the playoffs in the NFC? If you do, check out our NFL preview show. We did a preview show before the season started, and you can check out all our picks and who we picked. Right now, it's not looking so good. We did pick, I believe it's Tampa Bay. I had Tampa Bay.
Oh, I didn't pick Tampa Bay.
I think in the Super Bowl. I think.
Didn't.
But, yeah, check that out, Cornelius. If we have to pick today, I'm still giving the edge to Philadelphia. I'm giving a slight edge to Philadelphia just because of the way Jalen Hurts is playing. I would say in the NFC, I would give a slight edge in what they've done. With their pickups, getting Robert Quinn, getting Ndamukong Suh.
I agree with that, but I think by the time the end of the season rolls around, San Francisco will be a team to be reckoned with.
Very well could be. Stephon Diggs
And
Trayvon Diggs.
Cornelius with Tampa will probably win the South, and I agree with that. It is you can never count out Tom Brady.
Yeah,
you can never count him out.
You can't.
As long until he is out of the playoffs, you can't count him out.
No,
so
that's a fact. And then even
that
Manny
is always a chance.
Yeah, and then Manny said, "Look, Trayvon Diggs right now. If you look at his stats over the last 4 games, 12 targets, 7 catches allowed.
Yeah,
right, 61 yards. I mean, that's remarkable. No touchdowns, 1 interception.
No.
So again,
right.
they've got the stars in Dallas.
I've never questioned the talent, nor have I questioned their ability in the regular season.
It's Mike McCarthy. That's the issue with Dallas that I think most people will still not pick the Cowboys because you just don't have the confidence that he's going to be able to win in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I don't have that confidence.
And that's where it's tough for me to say Dallas is the favorite when I feel like he's going to stumble in the playoffs.
And look, if they have to meet up with Philly or San Francisco, I'm going to take the other team.
Because again, I think last year, if you think about San Francisco, they weren't as good as they are this year. In the Dallas Cowboys, again, it was just poor coaching that ended up costing them that playoff game. And I don't know if I trust that Mike McCarthy has gotten any better this season.
No.
Because they've been too inconsistent. They've looked good the last 2 weeks, but there's been games where you say Dallas is the team to beat, and then there's weeks where you go, I don't know what team's showing up. So it's going to be interesting to see. What about this last game? The New England Patriots at the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, the New England Patriots are home team in our area that we kind of cover for the majority of the time. Your thoughts on how that game played out?
Well, I still believe that was a touchdown.
Hunter Henry, I without a doubt.
And I still believe that they missed that holding call on that kick return.
Without a doubt. The guy's shoulder pad was up. Kyle Duggar's shoulder pad was literally above his helmet.
Yeah.
But that's not
but that being said, the special teams for the Patriots were awful.
Yeah, Parlady, whatever the kid's name is.
The kicker? The punter?
The punter.
Oh, my God. He's just okay, so I get on Bailey. This guy absolutely stinks.
I think you had the best line while we were talking during the game. And that was that he basically used Bailey's shoes, and then it turned right into Bailey on that.
Yeah.
It just...
As soon as it started, like the first punt.
Yeah, I think it was a 20-yard punt, 20-something.
Oh, it was terrible.
Punt.
It was terrible. It was terrible. And I'm
Pilardi,
sorry,
Pilardi.
I'm sorry. It was like, how can they keep making those mistakes? And let me tell you, the roughing the kicker,
I really
that was BS because
the NFL needs to change that call.
Because personally, he was running by him, and the guy kind of swung his leg to the left and kicked him in the back of the head.
It's almost impossible to avoid that.
I mean,
they need to change that rule.
Terrible. It's
like if
terrible.
you're going at the guy, I would understand it.
Right.
But if you're going past the guy and his foot comes down on you, how's that running into the kicker?
Well, it was just like the week before when they had the same problem roughing the kicker. He never touched the kicker. The kicker acted like he got shot out of a cannon and just fell to the ground, and they called a roughing the passer. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I guess if you want to look at it in positives, the offense looked better, or at least Mac Jones looked more in sync.
Mac Jones was fantastic. Right? Mac Jones was fantastic. Actually,
he looked very good.
He was really good.
It goes to show, though, if you look at the teams, Justin Jefferson, the wide receiver for Minnesota, when you have a legitimate number 1 wide receiver, what a difference your offense makes.
Oh, absolutely.
Because towards the end of that game, Mac Jones didn't know who to throw the ball to.
Yeah, because Myers was out.
Yeah. And even Myers, he's not a true number 1 wide receiver.
He's not.
Imagine having a Justin Jefferson And now Dallas may get OBJ. Like they're talking about, like there's just these teams just keep going. Stephon Diggs for Buffalo. How many times have you seen in that game in Detroit? They were second right before the end of the half.
Right.
He makes that. Josh Allen will throw it up to him, knowing that he's going to catch it.
Yeah. No, I
New
mean,
England
look,
doesn't have that.
no, and this is the frustrating part of it all, right? It's like they keep saying, "Oh, we're going to spend our money elsewhere," but where are you spending the money? You're not spending the money. You're just pocketing it.
No.
You're not even pushing your team to the limit in the cap because there's no star on offense. None. Not one.
So here's my other problem. If we talk about deja vu, the New England Patriot defense continues to do this every year now. It's like you get all excited. You go, look, this is a number one defense. They look until they play teams with legitimate offenses.
Right.
So we looked phenomenal the last 2 weeks. They were, you hadn't given up 220 yards total.
Yeah.
Right? And then you
You
play
only
an
gave
offense.
up 3 points that last week.
Yeah, you basically now play an offense that has legitimate stars on it, right?
Right.
TJ Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, right? All these guys that now you have to try to can't get sacks. I mean, I don't know how many times they couldn't get to Kirk Cousins. I don't know.
Yeah, all the time in the world.
So I just don't understand why they continuously do this with this defense. This defense just somehow fades in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. As I was talking to somebody at work, Manny at work, about this, I don't feel like the New England Patriots are a playoff team. Regardless of where they stand right now, I don't see this going very well. They still got Buffalo twice. They still got Miami again. They got Arizona, who, again, you think about their wide receiver in D-Hop, right? I'm just going to question it right now. That game to me was so crucial for New England to win if they were going to stay in the playoff race. And I think with them losing that, and I'm not going to totally blame. Look, you win or lose a game, period. Because Minnesota had calls that should have, they should have.
Yeah, no. I don't want people to make me feel like I'm just like crying about all these things, because when it all comes down to it, they still didn't do enough to win that game. Yeah. You can't blame it on a touchdown call back and a touchdown that should have been called back, even though that's a 14-point swing right there. But they still didn't get the job done.
Yeah. So,
and they had their opportunities and they didn't take advantage of them. You can't keep going to the red zone, and then as soon as you get into the red zone, you take sacks and you take, constant penalties and bite yourself, Yeah.
And we talked about this in the past. The mental stability of this team in them making smart plays. Hunter Henry, at the end of that, run out of bounds, save that timeout.
Yeah.
Right. Mac Jones, look, it's the end of the game. Why are you taking a sack almost near the end zone with 30 seconds left? Like, you're not going to have enough time now. Like, just some of the small errors that they continuously make. And the timeouts, I think they had to call a timeout at the end of the half too. Like, they could have got 7, and yet they have to settle for 3. It's things like that are costing them the games.
Right.
But let's move on. Let's continue on this NFL theme. We're going to bring this player up, and that's Zach Wilson. So the New York Jets have decided that they are going to bench Zach Wilson for their next upcoming game. Was it the right time for the team to do it?
Well, I don't know if it's the right time, but I mean, look, I mean, I'd love to tell you that I'm surprised and all that, but I'm not surprised. When they first drafted this guy during our draft show, I said he was not going to be the guy. I said he was the worst of the quarterback class in that first round. They should have taken Fields. That's who I said they should have taken, Justin Fields, because I felt he was the better quarterback and he had the most upside. I mean, yes, okay, this guy can make the throws, but what's between the ears? He doesn't. He's never made good decisions. since he's been
Agreed.
in New York.
Like,
I
do you
mean,
want
it's
a
just
gunslinger? That's what they got. They wanted a Brett
yeah,
Favre type of player. That's what they got.
that's what
But
they
here's
got.
the problem, Ron. He's 5-2 this season, 55.6% completions, 1,279 yards, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I don't understand why you would do it at this point. At this point, ride it out for the season and then make a decision after this season as to what you want to do. Because what do you do now? You're stuck with him. What, next season? You start this all over again and do it again, and then see if he starts to struggle. Now it's like, okay, well, maybe it's not the right quarterback. You got to make a decision, and then you know what I mean. Move on from it. Joe Flacco 1-2 this season.
He's not even going to be the starter.
Mike White, they say, may start. And
Yeah, he's
Mike,
going to. They already. That's what
they announced?
they named Mike White. I mean,
Brees Hall and the defense. I agree with you, Manny. But at the same time, if you got to find out if you can win with this guy or not, because what do you do now? You sit him on the bench, and then what? Next season you start all over again. At some point, if the New York Jets want to finally be a successful team consistently, they need to figure out what they got in house and then move on from there. And that's not going to happen if you bench him now. It's not like they're in the thralls. Look, if they were, 0 and whatever, and they had no shot, but you're in the playoff contention, you have some opportunity. I don't know. I'm just questioning the timing of it.
no, I mean, look, he's got them in a playoff spot, right? I mean, how do you just go about making that decision now? And now it's like you're going to go with the unknown, and now the team is just saying, okay, so coach has given up. Well, that's not a message you want to send to the players, is it?
I don't think so. And I'm not saying Mike White's a horrible quarterback, but
yeah,
is Mike White going to be their starting quarterback next year? Is that the plan?
I'm saying he shouldn't have made the decision because, and I'm even one that says that Wilson isn't a good enough quarterback.
No. But Mike White's been with this team. Joe Flacco's been with this team. Yeah. They know they can't win with them anyway.
Right.
So why not just stick it out and say, okay, can this kid get us to like 10 wins?
Maybe he'll learn along the way. Maybe something will click. You don't know.
And if he doesn't, then you say,
I know, but
yeah, I think we all know. But I would say at that point, you get rid of him for next season. Right. And you just say, look, we're going to start from scratch again. But now you're going to start from scratch next season with the same guy again. What does that prove?
Yeah, look, I mean, how do you start over? How do you start over when you have now all those other pieces that you just got? Yeah. It makes no sense to start over.
No. Maybe they could get Russell Wilson. I think he'll be on the block. That's worked out well for them.
Well, I'm saying there will be quarterbacks on the block. And I truly believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to be one of them.
New York would be a good market for him. New York would be a good market. So we're going to continue talking about this quarterback theme here. There's a rash of injuries right now with the quarterbacks in the league. Which one to you is a bigger loss to the team? Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers, or Matthew Stafford have all injured. Not sure if Aaron Rodgers is going to play. I know Justin Fields is really questionable, and Matthew Stafford has already, I think, been ruled out.
Well, it's got to be Fields because he's like almost the entire offense for Chicago.
See, I disagree with that, and I'm going to tell you why. They need to lose right now.
Well, they do. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if they want to win a game, he's more important.
Manny says the same thing as you, but I look at it this way. I would rather lose some games now. We know that Justin Fields is a capable quarterback. Yeah. We can win games with Justin Fields if I'm the Chicago Bears. Let's get a higher draft pick and get him some help. This is going to help the Chicago Bears more. The team I feel is in bigger trouble.
I'm just saying, if you want to win a game, if you take all those three teams, Justin Fields is the more important one because he means more to winning than the others.
But I feel like this injury is a benefit to the team, not a hinder, versus the Rams. And if you think
I think it's a benefit for all three teams because three teams are out of it. They're all out of it. Let's be honest.
But the Rams window is pretty much shut now. Like that's big for them because now basically next season looks a lot different. for the LA Rams. Aaron Rodgers checked out anyway. He's been done. I don't think he wanted to be there this season anyway, so I can't see that being a big loss. Matthew Stafford to me is a bigger loss because look, if they could possibly get into the playoffs now, that shot's done.
No, they have 7 losses already,
and I believe that window's shut. And that window is shut now for them.
Yeah.
They're completely done. So, Ron, what about some of your games of interest this week?
Are there?
I mean, so all the good games were on Thursday. So
yeah,
if we had to do this,
I still
we
have 3.
Okay, I have 2.
I know, and I know what your 2 are: Cincinnati at Tennessee.
Yep.
Chargers at Arizona.
Yep. I'm dying to hear your third one.
I went with Atlanta and Washington.
I was debating on that one.
And the simple reason is because Atlanta still has a shot at winning this division.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think they're going to.
Said, I think we all agree.
Well, yeah, I agree too, but I'm just saying they still have a shot, and they are playing Washington, but Washington now can put themselves in the picture in that division.
Yeah. Look, Washington quietly has,
which I don't like because I think, the owner is a scumbag, and that team should lose every game from here till eternity until he gives it up.
Yeah, but
that goes without saying, although I did say it.
Those fans deserve something. It's good to see. I mean, it is an interesting game because both of those teams, look, the expectation was they weren't going to be very good.
I still don't think they're good.
Again, one of them's going to still have a winning record.
Yeah, I know.
After that game. So it's going to be interesting to see. Can Atlanta
I'd rather have it be Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Heineke, though, very quietly has become one of those quarterbacks that you got to root for. That kid, every time that kid comes in, he plays well, man. He just plays well. He plays hard.
I wonder if he's gotten a sponsorship from
Heineken. You would think Heineken would have picked him up already.
Oh my God, it's like
a gold mine
partnership that was made for it.
Perfect.
But if Heineken decides that they want to sponsor Sports Unfolded,
we'll gladly take it.
We would love that.
If Tyler Heineke wants to sponsor Sports Unfolded, we'll take that as well.
Absolutely.
Ron, it's triple play time.
Triple play.
And we are going to decide these 3 rebounding leaders in the NBA: Anthony Davis, Rudy Gobert, and Clint Capella. We're going to decide who we start, who we bench, and who we cut. And we're going to base it off of what they've done so far this season.
Oh.
You may not have seen. Did you not see that message?
I didn't see that part.
Well, you can do it any way you want.
It doesn't matter. It's still going to be the same anyway.
Okay. So you are first this week, my friend. Let's see how you made out.
Okay. So I was going by career, but it is absolutely the same thing. No matter how you slice it, this is the way it comes out. So
Slice and dice.
Right. So I'm actually going to go in reverse.
Okay.
And before anything happens, I am cutting Clint Capella.
Okay.
Cutting him. All right. Look, he's just not as good as the other 2.
Agreed.
And therefore, you have to cut him. You got to keep the best 2 guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am starting Anthony Davis because not only can he get the rebounds, he can also get the points.
Yeah.
And look, and I know, he's going to miss maybe a third to a half of the season.
So you got to have somebody strong on the bench.
So you have to have somebody that can do his job. And Rudy Gobert. He has to be on your bench because he's going to get a lot of playing time.
Ron, I agree. Same exact way you looked at it. You want Anthony Davis. He just offers more to the table. The injuries are concerning.
Oh yeah.
But again, if he stays healthy, I mean, he's a dominant force. Rudy Gobert gives you, again, a double-double. And, I mean, a solid defensive player.
Right.
Clint Capella is a solid player.
Look,
he's
he
good.
is. He is. He's actually maybe only slightly behind Gobert. Slightly.
Yeah.
Because he does put up basically the same numbers.
Yeah.
If you look at the career, it's 0.1 points less than Gobert. It is 1 rebound less than Gobert and 0.3 assists less than Gobert. The only difference really is in the accolades, where Gobert gets all the all-stars and the defensive players and stuff like that, and Capella gets shut out on that. And that's the only really difference is the accolades.
Kenny has joined, and he put emojis up, and he loves Clint. He thinks we're wrong.
Oh, believe me, I do.
I think Clint's a very good player. And look, if he was on Boston, I wouldn't complain.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, he's solid. Like I said, he is just slightly behind Gobert.
Yeah, he's not the same talent as Gobert and Davis. And Davis, the only knock on Davis is the injuries. I don't think anybody would question that he's one of the best players in the league if he was healthy consistently.
Right.
You can knock him for being out more than he's actually played. That's the only knock on Anthony Davis. He's not. There's no way Clint Capella is more talented.
Yeah, and then when he goes down, and you know that he is eventually, I have no problem bringing in Gobert.
Kenny joined in right at the right time because we're going to talk some NBA. And we're going to talk first and foremost about the Boston Celtics, who are off to a great start. Why do you think this team has been so successful so early in the season?
Because they lost the championship.
Definitely helps.
I mean,
definitely helps.
If there's anything that's going to make you hungrier and more determined is losing the championship. And these guys have come back more focused, more determined, and they don't even have a full squad.
Yep, they still don't have Robert Williams, if you think about it. They're not getting Gallinari back this season. They're 14-4 currently, a game and a half above Milwaukee in the number one spot in the East.
If I'm not mistaken, I thought they were 5-4 at one point, or 6-4.
No, I don't think they were ever that low.
I thought so,
but
because they took a couple of early losses to Cleveland, and
you might be right. Yeah, I think they started at least 2-2.
Yeah,
but then listen, they're the second highest scoring team in the league, 119.7 points per game. And even without Robert Williams, they are 14th overall defensively. You're right.
Yeah, all of a sudden something just went on, and I have it in my background, and it confused the heck out of me there for a minute.
But I would say this: look, 9-1 in their last 10 games. Jason Tatum has been the reason why this team's been so successful. Look, he's averaging 30.6 points per game, 7.9 rebounds, and he leads the team in blocks with 1.1 blocks per game. So he's doing it defensively. He's grabbing rebounds. He's scoring. But then Marcus Smart has become a point guard. What a difference now. He's averaging 7.2 assists per game. He's distributing.
Yeah, well, he's learning the full game.
Right?
He's learning the full game.
That's been successful. Jaylen Brown, 25.6 points per game. So you're getting contributions from the big J's, the most important part. But then Malcolm Brogdon, what a pickup he's been. He's third in the team in points with 13.7.
Yeah.
So the pieces that they've added as well, you got to say that, you know what I mean? They've done a great job of adding the right pieces to make this team even more successful.
Right. And you're going to add another piece at some point. You know, I mean, maybe Daniel Tice will come back.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, every year we got to get Daniel Tice back. It's just one of those things. But look, they've done all the right things right now. I think Kenny, they probably are gonna go on another winning streak. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, look, they're gonna do it earlier than they did last season. Last season, it took them a while to figure it out. I think they figured it out. I think, Ron, you pinpointed it right from the beginning. Losing that championship has made them so hungry that they don't want to have another opportunity where they get back there. They want to win it.
Yeah.
So all these games count right now. You need to learn to win now.
And look, I know Brooklyn, there's a lot of talk about Brooklyn. But I still think when it comes down to it, it's going to be Milwaukee or Boston.
Yep.
One of those two teams are going to the championship.
Yeah, because Milwaukee's still not healthy either. So they get Middleton back.
Right.
That's going to be different. It's going to be an interesting look. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, this team's going to go as far as those two carry him. They've seemed to learn the
And maybe
turnover
a third. The big three.
Look, Robert Williams comes back and he's healthy. What a difference that makes for this team.
Oh, God, yes. I mean, everybody else is stepping up defensively because he's not there. And when he comes back, that defense is going to be unreal.
Yeah, on an NBA preview show, I had Milwaukee, Denver. I'm still sticking with that right now. But no, we didn't pick Boston.
I don't remember who I had Milwaukee and somebody. Yeah, Minnesota.
Right? And that's not looking good either. But the Boston Celtics, we didn't pick them. We had that doubt. And they're trying to prove, I think they're trying to prove everybody.
Well, I had them going to the.
Yeah, I think we both had them going to the finals. All right. No, I had them
to Milwaukee
in the second round or something. But it's just going to be interesting. What about this team? So we're going to talk about one more team, and that's the Sacramento Kings. So Boston's actually going to play. They've played very well. Are they a legit contender in the West? No. Number one offense overall, 120 points per game. I picked them. Kenny picked them. Yes, you did, Kenny.
Kenny Pickett? What?
Kenny picked them all. Kenny Pickett. Pittsburgh
I don't know.
Steelers. Kenny? 10-7 in the Western Conference right now. They're a game out of the number one spot, Ron.
Yeah.
They're one game behind to be the number one team in the West right now.
Yeah, and this doesn't bode well for the Lakers, does it?
The Lakers are done.
I'm just saying because, with Utah falling, and even though they're not falling.
Not yet.
But, when we did our predictions, we assumed that Utah was not going to be involved, but they are. And now so is Sacramento. So that does not bode well for a team like the Lakers that try to get in there. So Sacramento could ultimately steal away that final spot from the Lakers.
Look, De'Aaron Fox is one of the best point guards in the league. But Sabonis as well has played up to when they made those moves, 16.9 points per game, 11.
So in other words, he's kind of like a bonus.
He's a Sabonis, yes. But they also have 4 other players in double digits right now on that team. So not only are those 2 guys in double digits, 4 other guys on the team double digits. Jazz, Pelicans, Nuggets, and Suns are the only teams ahead of them right now. Suns, I would say they're not going to pass. They could pass the Jazz and the Pelicans.
Well, if you're saying that somebody's going to get injured on New Orleans, that's realistic.
Right? You could see this as the third best team, second or third best team in the West.
I mean, you could, but I won't.
Look,
it's early. It's early in the season, and I know, when you jump out to a good start, that helps you carry through for the season, and that's generally true.
Yeah, being 3 games over 500 is not.
But let's see these teams that are behind them a little to see what happens. Look, it's still early. You're gonna know where they're gonna fall, by Christmas time. I think, for the NHL, it's generally Thanksgiving. When Thanksgiving comes around, whoever's in that playoff spot, generally you're going to make the playoffs, except for maybe like the bottom couple of teams could swap. But for the NBA, I think it's more along the lines of Christmas because they started a little later.
Actually, let's even say February, the All-Star break. Usually at that point, you kind of have a really good idea where.
So we're looking at by the New Year's rolling around, we should know if Sacramento is going to be there or not.
Yeah, I'd just be interested. Look, it's a fun team to finally root for.
Oh, I'm glad for them. Because
if anything, the NBA season is following the NFL season, though, where some of these teams that you would just say shouldn't be winning are winning. And you're going, what? The Utah Jazz. We are currently saying that the Utah Jazz and the Sacramento Kings are both going to be in the playoffs. If the season ended today, and who would have thought that?
No one.
Not a single person. So
I don't even think anybody in those cities thought that.
yeah, it's just unreal. So let's move on to some Major League Baseball.
Think about
Go ahead. I guess not.
Utah's general manager, how he dismantled the team, and then here they are making a run.
That's it.
It's
I
funny.
mean, they're the best team in
I
the
think it's
West
funny.
right now. Got the best record in the West. Major League Baseball time. Bryce Harper underwent Tommy John surgery and will be out at least till the All-Star break of next season. How big of an injury is this for the Phillies?
Oh, it's large. I mean, look what he did in the playoffs. I mean, you can't look if they don't play well by the time he comes back. If they're already like pushed down to like third or fourth, like they're not making the playoffs.
Well, we saw this before with the Phillies.
I know we have.
So, and again, he only played in 99 games last season.
Yeah.
Right? There's 162 games in the regular season.
Yeah, so he
played
missed
in
almost
99.
half of them. But
So he's going to do almost the same thing again.
they jumped out to a good start.
They had a horrible
Actually,
start.
they had a horrible start.
They had a horrible start. They fired Joe Girardi.
Yeah, they did.
They basically, this is what I'm saying.
That'll be
This does
fine.
not affect them at all.
Let me take all that back. Oh, they're going to be absolutely fine.
Right? To me, it's like, okay, the only question I would have is that hiccup from losing the World Series, similar
I mean,
to
you also
Baltimore.
have to see who they lose in free agency. I don't know who their free agents are, but you got to think it's Dombrowski, right? That's their general manager over there. You know he's going to spend the money. He's going to go get the players that he needs. So he'll have a plan for now. They're going to pay for it like 5 years down the road, but they're going to have a plan, and they're going to do what they have to do to get through. Look, they have the pitching. They have a lot of horses that are there. Whether they have free agents or not, I'd have to take a look.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned for the MLB playoff preview, the regular season preview show.
It's coming up only in 3 months.
Yeah, February.
4 months. Yeah, 3 months.
February, March. So can't wait for that. But look, 370 at bats last season, 286, 18 home runs, 65 RBIs, 106 hits. So again, it'd be interesting to see. I think they get past this without an issue.
Yeah.
You got your boy Schwarber there. I know how much you love Schwarber. So it'll be interesting. If you're joining, like to donate stars or bits, you're watching on Twitch, send some bits over. If you're watching on Facebook, I'd love to get some stars. Ron, it's face-off time.
Face-off.
So we're debating on, should fans have the right to decide who gets into the Hall of Fame in any sport? You know, sometimes these sports, they have the All-Star games and your fans get to vote who gets the All-Star games. We're talking Hall of Fame, though, Ron. And some of the questions were, because I put up a poll on MeWe recently about the NHL Hall of Fame, and Ron Brindamore actually came out as the top vote getter as the player that they felt should have gotten into the Hall of Fame. Kenny already says nope. But what do you think? I mean, should fans have the right to decide who gets at least an opportunity to get into the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. You know, and I don't think what they're doing now is working either. What I think should happen is the actual Hall of Famers vote.
Only problem is,
way,
if you got half of them are not around anymore.
Well, yeah, I know. You have a problem with you know, the actual living Hall of Famers.
And then again, would the number be even? You know, it'd be kind of weird. I don't know. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is I don't leave it up to the fans, because the fans, you know, look, I'm just going to come out and say it. I guess I'll be closing off the final group of people that would have any chance of sending me a Christmas card.
Oh, boy. Great.
Look, fans don't know jack. Like, we all know this, right? The fans are so in tune to their home team, the one that they root for, that nothing else is good enough. So a guy like, say, Derek Jeter, how many Red Sox fans are going to vote for Derek
You
Jeter?
even said as a Red Sox fan, though, you would do it.
Because I'm, bipartisan.
Yeah, but I would say this, Ron. So my argument would be this. I'm not saying they actually get them into the Hall of Fame, but they maybe decide the players that should be in the running for the Hall of Fame. Because I start to question some of that as well. There's guys that we've talked about in the past that should be or had an opportunity to get in, and they don't even get the votes. So baseball is one of the worst ones when it comes to this. One guy got in. David Ortiz, the only guy that got in last year.
Right.
It just gets to a point where you need 77%. Let the fans say, look, this is who we want to see get in. And hopefully you get, I don't even know if, like you said, the writers, maybe it's the former Hall of Famers.
I think it should be the Hall of Famers that are alive.
It's got to change.
At least that has to be part of it.
That.
It has to be part of it. So maybe a portion is the Hall of Famers, a portion is the writers, and then maybe a portion is the fan.
Right? So all of a sudden you say, hey, 33, 33, 33. Hey. Woo! See? He's got his own Hall of Fame music going, too.
That's some of my fans now.
We argued
to call me. Hey, what are you thinking?
We got it. We got this argument before. Kenny's asking the question, should Pete Rose have gotten in? LOL. I would have voted Pete Rose in by now. The poor man is in his 80s now. Let him in.
I wouldn't have put him in.
I know you would
put him in.
Because Ron's perfect. Ask him about his predictions. I say some people make mistakes and they have the opportunity to get in. That's how I look at it.
No.
That's how I look at it. And there's guys that have done far worse. Kenny agrees with me.
No, he
Barry
might agree
Bonds
with
should
me.
be in as well. Barry Bonds has
he should
been
not.
accused.
I don't care.
Sorry. Found that he did steroids.
Come on.
Accused, yes.
Okay, do you think he did?
No.
Oh, look at you! Can't even say it with a straight face.
He never did. I'm not going to say. I can't say you're guilty if you're not found guilty in a court of law.
Get out of here! Yeah, because they're not going to put him in a court of law because they wouldn't be that stupid.
OJ didn't do it either.
Baseball would not want these guys in court because then you find out that they're Rafael Palmeiro.
OJ didn't do it either. Okay.
I did not take any steroids. Boom! You got just busted.
Okay, but he got caught. They found positive tests.
Yes.
That's a different story.
Yes. But were they really testing Bonds?
Oh, boy. Here we
go. Come on. You're going to tell me that baseball wanted to get him caught? No. No, of course not. Look, baseball is the dirtiest sport of all of them.
But they didn't vote him in.
Dirtiest sport.
But they won't vote him in.
No. Because everybody knows he did it.
I know. All right, my friend. I clearly won that.
He can sit out along with Roger Clemens and A-Rod, and they can have their own little Hall of Fame.
There should be maybe make a separate Hall of Fame, maybe a fan Hall of Fame,
a sports unfolded Hall of Fame. All right, it's going to start next week.
I'm going to start putting polls up.
I'm going to start getting a list together. This weekend.
And we do a voting system. We'll put it out there and we'll let fans vote. We'll have a Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame. We've just created something new for Sports Unfolded.
Here we go.
I love it. Ron, it's NHL time.
It is.
And I know how excited you are to talk about this next gentleman. Patrice Bergeron.
Yes.
I know he's one of your faves. He has reached 1,000 points with the Boston Bruins in his career. What has he meant to this organization?
Oh, my God. I don't even think you can measure that. Don't even think you can measure it. If you put it in comparison kind of thing, he'd probably be – I would actually put him third on the totem pole.
Oh, I got to hear this totem pole.
Well, Bobby Orr is number one.
Okay.
And frankly, I don't care what other people say. I think you have to go with probably
Ray Bork.
Probably somebody. No, Ray Bork has not won a Stanley Cup for the Bruins.
Okay, you're saying he's okay. Go ahead. So who would you go? Who's
Well,
your number?
I was leaning towards Phil Esposito.
Okay.
Look, I think
So there's a Mount
obviously
Rushmore of Boston Bruins. Patrice Bergeron's definitely on it.
Patrice Bergeron is on it, and I would probably put Espo and Bork along in that in that mix.
So the funny thing is, I looked at some of the numbers, right? So 409 goals, 591 assists, right? 1,000
Then there's
points,
Johnny Busick too.
plus 265 in his
Not
time.
Johnny
Five,
Busick.
five Selkies, a Clancy, a Messier, and
Yeah,
one Stanley Cup. I went back though. I said I wanted to see who was the
Milty.
guy before
Milt.
Patrice Bergeron basically started this run with the Boston Bruins, and it was Joe Thornton. Joe Thornton had led the team in scoring the year before Patrice Bergeron.
Never
And
won a Stanley Cup.
no, but you know what I mean? So you think
Oh,
about
believe me, I like Jumbo Joe as well.
but he basically Patrice Bergeron brought the Boston Bruins back to being one of those teams that everybody
Right.
Considered a contender.
Right.
Because they didn't have that before. They had lost some of that with some of those guys, Cam Neely and the Ray Borks and those guys that
Right.
back in the 80s, right? Early 90s. If my time frame's correct.
90s, yeah.
Right? Were they all 90s?
Well, it was probably like 99 to like 2001.
Thought.
Once they traded Bork, that signaled the end.
Yep.
Because they were on, I don't know, something like a 31-year run to make the playoffs.
Because all I remember is back in the day, we used to play NHL on Sega Genesis, and Adam Oates and those guys, and you had Cam Neely. So
yeah, see, I remember
94,
Blades of Steel.
Blades of Steel. But right, so you think about back in what's the early 90s? I'm just saying 94 NHL. But yeah, so those teams. It's just interesting to see what he's been able to bring for the last 19 years to this organization. Right. So
and he's off to a great start. He might have his best season.
Yeah. So it's just going to be interesting. Let me ask you this: Hall of Famer?
Oh God, yeah. He's probably going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Maybe in a Sports Unfolded Hall of Fame as well.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God, it goes without saying. Anybody votes against him,
I am excited about this. Wow, Cam. Yeah, Cam Neely. I mean, Ron didn't put him on his Mount Rushmore.
Nope. No, I did not.
What
not
about
a Stanley Cup winner?
Let's talk about the new record that the Boston Bruins also hold, and that's the 12 straight wins at home to begin a season.
Yes.
How impressed are you with that stat?
That's actually anytime you can win 12, at any point during the season.
And today's game was a tight one. They were down 2-0, ended up winning 3-2 in overtime.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And so look, 12 straight, it's never been done before at home to start a season. Never been done. And you figure 100 years and it hasn't been done. This was the first
11
time.
Last year they did it.
Florida, I believe,
broke it
last year.
They did 11, yeah.
Yeah. And it was tied with somebody else, and I want to say it was Chicago. I can't remember. I mean, it doesn't matter now because second place doesn't mean anything, right?
Yeah, there you go. If you ain't first, you're last.
And I'll tell you, they did it against Carolina today, and that is a quality opponent. And if there was anybody that was going to stop the streak, it could have been them. And Carolina's a really good team. And even though they're struggling right now, they've now lost 5 in a row, even though 4 of them were in overtime. So, but again, it is 5 in a row losses. So you probably won't see them on the power rankings this week.
Oh, get ready. Power rankings, NBA. We got so many good comments about all those rankings
but it did,
by you guys. So
thank you. It cost the Bruins today, though, Eric. It cost them dearly. Olmark, who has been the best goalie in the league,
got
hurt today.
Uh-oh.
So it looks like it could be his shoulder. Because there was a lot of pressure on the Bruins in their end, and Connor Clifton went behind Ullmark during the game because Ullmark was down and somebody was about to shoot it into the empty net, and Connor Clifton blocked it. And when he fell down, he landed pretty much right on top of Ullmark's head and arm, and it looked like it might have dislocated or separated.
He's
Of
a
course,
hockey player. He'll be
of
back.
course, it could be a sprain or a
Yeah.
strain. So we don't really know. We're not going to know probably until tomorrow at least. So, but he left the game, and Swayman came in and closed the door and didn't let anything else in.
It'd be interesting to see. I mean, hockey players, these guys come back,
Oh, absolutely,
much sooner than they
absolutely.
should. So great stuff for the Bruins. But what about the New Jersey Devils? They had their 13-game win streak ended this week.
Yeah, they lost on the same day the Bruins did.
Yeah. So can they make a Stanley Cup run? They're 16-4 overall this season. They're
Look,
6 points ahead of the Islanders in the Metropolitan.
Yeah, and you got to think at some point Carolina and you would think the Rangers and Pittsburgh all would have something to say about that.
But
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But I like the way New Jersey is playing. I mean, I've watched actually, I believe, 4 games of theirs already this season, and I like what Palat gave to this team, even though he's injured right now.
Yep.
But Tatar, like I had mentioned before the show, these guys are doing the job, and you can't say enough, and I don't really care for him too much. Hamilton on defense, and Marino they got from Pittsburgh. They signed him a free agent. So their defense has just been outstanding.
Second in goals against, only behind the Bruins, 2.3 goals against.
Right.
Fourth in scoring at 3.70 goals. So I wanted to ask you this. If you think about, look at the teams they beat during that 13-game streak. And here's why I think they're legitimate. They beat Edmonton twice.
Yeah.
Right? Who Edmonton's, again, we'll say a solid team.
Yep.
Calgary twice. Yep. Ottawa twice. They beat Detroit, Colorado, Columbus, Vancouver, Arizona, Montreal, and Toronto.
Yeah.
And then Toronto. So they beat some good quality teams that honestly
absolutely
have some talent, and probably some of these teams are actually considered better than the Devils.
And I've watched a lot of those big wins too.
Yeah. So again, I think they're a legitimate contender here.
Oh, Ron. They are. Like, I don't see them falling out of the playoffs. I don't see that. I think their start is too good. I think they've now began great habits. They know what they're doing. The coaching staff is not going to let them stray too much. I mean, we're going to find out if they go into a losing streak at some point and see how it pans out. But I don't see this team not making the playoffs. Islanders, on the other hand, not sold yet. And that is mostly because of goaltending.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure they're as deep as they used to be. I think they have a lot of guys that have tailed off. And, I think they might be had. And, you figure Carolina is going to be there. Now it's just whether or not the Rangers or the Pittsburgh Penguins can get in there. One of those teams are not.
Which is insane to think about. So let me ask you this question, Ron. When we started doing these shows X amount of years, right? We've been doing this forever. But the last 2 years, have you ever thought that we'd be talking about the New Jersey Devils, the Sacramento Kings in the same show at any point? Like, you think about where we're at. The Detroit Lions today, the New Jersey Devils, the Sacramento Kings, all these teams are winning games now and like contending. What has happened to the sports world? Where's it going?
Well, like I say, teams that recognize that they need a guy at the top that knows what they're doing. And some teams figure it out, some teams don't. And those teams have now put somebody in place that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And like some of the same old,
Just weird, man. It's weird. We talked about the Baltimore Orioles at points.
Yeah.
Like I just all these teams that you would think, they were contenders. Unreal. Ron, it's pick and roll time, and we're kind of sticking with this NHL theme. And I thought this was really a really cool one. So it's episode 47. We always try to do something based around 47. All these goaltenders have had 47 or more shutouts in their career. And we're going to decide how we rank them from 5 to 1. So obviously there's guys that are way ahead.
So Terry Sawchuk, right?
No, way below those guys. We're kind of going those middle of the grounds in the 40s to
no Brodeur.
No Brodeur.
Oh, must be Patrick Waugh then, right?
The players are, if you're interested, is Carey Price, Chris Osgood, Curtis Joseph, Tuukka Rask, and Jonathan Quick. We are going to rank them from 5 to 1 as these 5. Who's better from 5 to 1?
Oh
you
God,
are first this week.
I so wanted you to be first for this.
Nope. You are first this week, my friend.
I'm going to blow your mind.
Maybe I'm going to blow your mind. Who knows?
I'm going to blow your mind.
Go. I got to hear it. I can't wait.
All right. Number 5.
Number five.
Who I felt should have been in the Hall of Fame.
Cujo.
Number 5. 454 wins. That's fantastic. But he has played nearly, actually 200 more games, at least more than everybody else. And he doesn't have a whole lot more wins.
No.
But that's not where it ends. Yes, he has 51 shutouts, 2.79 goals against average.
Highest on this list.
The highest on the list, exactly. And a 906 save percentage.
Yeah.
Now, that is only better than one player.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I didn't even look at that number when it came to that other player.
Okay.
Number 4, be prepared. Carey Price.
What?
Carey Price. Look, I've always thought he's a fantastic goaltender. Well above average.
Yeah.
2.51 goals against average. A 917 save percentage. Those are very good.
Very good.
Not the highest on the list.
Nope.
But definitely not the lowest.
Gotcha.
It's actually second on the list.
This list, yes.
But still didn't win a Stanley Cup.
Did not. But did win a Vezina.
He did. He won a
Best
Vezina,
goalie, right?
Jennings. He even won a Hart Trophy for MVP.
Masterson.
Oddly enough, only one All-Star game. I
Yeah,
don't know
most of
how
these
that.
guys did not make a lot of All-Star appearances.
Yeah.
None of these guys.
So he was number 4 for me.
Also, all rookie, 07-08. All rookie. Just
Yes.
letting you know that. Okay.
Yes. At number 3, give me 2 U's and 2 K's for Tuukka.
Okay.
He's at number 3. Now, he's got 308 wins, far lower than everybody on this list, but he has 200 games less than everybody on this list. Look, his goals against 2.28 for a career, which is the best on the list.
Yep.
But the 921
save percentage, phenomenal.
Oh my God, that is outstanding for a career.
You put
the best on the list, but yet I put him at number 3.
Yeah, because I know.
And you know why?
I know why. I know exactly why. Because typical Ron goes for the championships.
No Stanley Cup.
Yeah, Cups. Yeah, here we go again with this.
No Stanley Cup.
None. Here we
go.
But
I will say it's conveniently not his fault.
Yeah,
that he
but
didn't get one.
Conveniently, when you want the championships, don't matter. But today they matter. Go.
Oh my God. In this case, they matter.
Okay, of course. Yes,
They
this
matter.
Mm-hmm. Go.
They matter. They always matter.
Mm-hmm.
At number 2, I put Chris Osgood. Now, he does have...
Ryan Scalabrine won a championship as well, and you didn't put him any higher.
Okay, well, he was on the bench when he won that.
It's still a champion. He
It's-
got
no,
a
no, no.
trophy.
Tuca has a championship
If-
ring,
If you
but
look
he didn't
at-
win it.
If you look, he got a world
Tuca-
champion ring.
Tuca has a Stanley Cup
Okay.
win,
Okay.
but he didn't play in that Stanley Cup.
Okay. All
Did
right.
not play.
Go ahead.
So I don't give him credit for it.
Okay.
Hello.
Go ahead.
All right. So Chris Osgood, the lowest save percentage,
And number
905. 2.49 goals against average. Merely third on the list. 401 wins, 50 shutouts. Those are nice numbers. But when it mattered, he was outstanding. He won 3 Stanley Cups,
1-3. You're correct.
and he was in net for those 3.
Okay. There we go.
He won 2 Jennings trophies. So I put him at number 2.
Okay.
The silver is worth at least number 2 for me,
Okay.
especially the way he plays in the playoffs. Lights out. But at number 1,
Mhm.
I got to go with the Quickster. Jonathan Quick, I went at number 1. Now, his numbers are just absolutely phenomenal. 365 wins, 57 shutouts,
Very impressive.
a 2.43 goals against average. And let me tell you, for a career, that's impressive when you were on those LA Kings that couldn't do anything for years. And he's still there, by the way.
Yep.
Still there.
Yeah, not having a great season, but he's still there.
No, he's not having a great season. And the Kings were just dreadful for the last, 5 years.
Yep.
But a 912 save percentage, to me, that was good enough to be number 1 because of those 2 cups. And by the way, he did something for the Olympics or something. I don't recall what it
Now we're
was.
bringing the Olympics into it.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay.
2
All
Jennings
right.
trophies, a Conn Smythe for the best player in the playoffs.
Yep. He won a Smite. Yep. 2 Jennings.
Just saying.
Okay.
I'll
Is
take
that your
Quick.
list? You
That
want
is my
to?
list.
You're living with your list. Okay.
I'm living with my list.
So I will say this, Ron. You almost got it right. Almost.
I know I
Not
got
quite.
it right.
And it's my hockey guy, my hockey guru, the man who knows all about hockey. You got this one wrong.
I didn't
because-
get it wrong.
At 5, you are correct. Cujo, 5. If you look at the numbers, how many games he played, and then that goals against and the save percentage wasn't very impressive to me of these 5. So I put Cujo at number 5. At 4, Carey Price, I agreed with you there as well. Look, very good numbers, but had the least amount of shutouts out of this group. He had 49. I
think it's a hell of a goaltender. I'd take any one of these goaltenders.
Yeah, he had some great awards during the course of his career. You win 5 different awards. That's pretty impressive over the course of your career. And an all rookie.
And I know you have number 1 as Tuca.
At number 3 has to be Jonathan Quick. And I'm going to tell you why. Yes, he had the 2 Stanley Cups. But the goals against average were not better than Tuca. The save percentage was not better than Tuca.
But they were both better than Osgood, which you have higher.
And Tuca, one of Vensta, which is the best goaltender in the league.
Yes, I know.
And Quick has never won one. So he's never been considered the best goaltender ever in the league during his career. At number 2, I agreed with you with Osgood. 50 shutouts, 2.5.
Yeah, but how do you put Osgood ahead of Quick?
I gave him the
by going your theory,
I gave him the notch. Go ahead.
Your theory, he should have been below Quick at number 3.
I gave him the nod because of because I felt they were pretty similar, but the third cup helped Osgood go ahead of Quick. But
Okay.
then the more reliable, and to your point, he's played in less games, had 52 shutouts, which actually was what? Second on this list. He had the second most shutouts,
I know.
Tuukka, the best goals against, the best save percentage,
I
won a
know.
Vezina, was a 2-time All-Star, the only guy on this list to make the All-Star game twice.
I know.
Tuukka Rask has to be the number one goaltender on this pick and roll.
Yeah, but he hasn't won.
He hasn't
That's
won.
what
He's
it
still,
was.
his
I
job
can't.
is to-
I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
Okay, what's his
I'm
job?
taking.
Keep the opponent under a certain goal, have a better save percentage. He did that better than anybody else on this list. That's
Yes,
a goal.
he did.
That's a goaltender's job. He was the best
Not
goaltender on this
only
list.
his job,
And he
not
played in
only.
probably 100 plus less games than most of these guys.
and I understand that.
He's almost 160 games.
Look, if there was anybody that was going to take a Bruin, would be
Jonathan-
me.
Okay, Jonathan Quick played almost 160 more games and has 5 more shutouts in his career.
I get it. I get it.
Tuukka Rask, number one. I am hurt that you would have done that. As a Boston Bruin.
I want
Mount Rushmore.
champions.
You
I
just
want
a championship.
champions.
Because he didn't win.
I want
This
champions.
This is the scorned lover syndrome, where they didn't give me what I wanted, so they're the most horrible person.
No.
Because he didn't win the Stanley Cup for the Boston Bruins, you put him at 3. You
That
should
is
be
not-
ashamed of yourself.
That is not why I put him at
You
3.
call yourself a Bruins fan. How dare you? There's
You're
no
wrong.
black and gold running through your blood.
You're just wrong, Eric.
I am.
Like, just
Hey,
fix
it's prediction time. Yes, Ron. you have
fans.
to-
Fans, look,
Yeah.
please, when you see the show, put down who you would take as the best goaltender out of that list.
Out of those 5.
And I know most of them are going to say
That is
Carey
the shame
Price.
Ron Reed. Kenny already knows you should be ashamed of yourself. Tuukka Rask clearly should have been the number 1. Prediction time, my friend. Let's bring up the list. Let's show everybody your 8-game lead now.
Yes.
Ron went
This just goes to
5-4,
show
picked
you
up his
when
extra
it comes to
game.
sports, I know what you're talking about because look, you're way behind.
Squirrel finds a nut every so often too, my friend. Guess
Yeah,
what?
but I have found it 8 more times than you already.
Yeah, all at the end of the season because I was leading the entire year, and then all of a sudden,
Because when it matters, that's when
when it matters.
that's okay. Perfect example. When it matters, you want to go with the champ, right?
Okay, yeah, no. So
When it matters.
if you're out there and you're live and you want to chime in on these picks, make sure you do so. Kenny, I know you're there. Manny, you've been every week, so make sure you guys chime in.
Yeah, you
If
guys
any-
need to get some wins here. Just
If
saying.
anybody else is still on,
So you might want to go with the champ.
Cornelius, if you're still on and you'd like to add some picks too, make sure you do so. So we are starting off your first this week, my friend. 11:25. You got the Sacramento Kings, the number 1 scoring offense in the NBA, at the Boston Celtics. That game is tonight. That game is tonight.
Oh yeah, as if I'm not going to go with the Boston Celtics.
Number 1 offense in the league. I am shocked that you are not going with the best offense in the league. So I went to Boston Celtics as well.
This is the beginning of the
Manny's
decline.
going to Kings because he will not. Manny now is slowly well under 500 because he refuses
Because
to
he
pick any
keeps
Boston teams.
refusing to go with Boston.
He will not pick a single Boston team.
Manny, you should really rethink this.
Kenny went with the Celtics. Cornelius, if you're still on and you want to join in, just let us know. Sacramento at Boston. All right, at tomorrow night, 11:26, you got the Utah Jazz at the Phoenix Suns. I'm going to continue to do this. I don't believe in the Jazz, and I feel like it's just going to come crashing down at some point. I went Phoenix. I just cannot see the Phoenix Suns losing this game.
Yeah, I did the same. I can't see. No. I don't think Utah is real either.
Right? I can't. I want to, and I can't do it. Like every time I'm like, nope. And then every week they're on our NBA top 5 rankings, and I'm like, well, they really are still pretty good.
Maybe Charlotte is there too. So Charlotte, if you're still out there,
Yes.
put your picks.
Put yours in as well, yes. Ron, we got some NHL action on 11:25. That game's tonight as well.
Come on.
The Seattle Kraken at the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, I'm not going with Seattle either. That's the going with Las Vegas.
My hockey guru, the guy who got the last list wrong, would tell me right now that Seattle's not real, so I believe him, and I went with the Vegas Golden Knights. I went with the Knights as well. Kenny went with the Knights.
Knights in white satin.
Let's see if Manny got a hockey pick. We got some World Cup picks coming up too, so I know Manny will definitely be in that. Manny's got the
Knights.
The Knights.
I love that he does the emojis. I love it. That's something to look forward to every single time.
Yes, that's really good, Manny. On 11:29, you got the Colorado Avalanche.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this one.
I went Colorado. As much as Winnipeg's playing very well, I just think Colorado, they're going to figure it out at some point.
They have been figuring it out, haven't you seen?
Yeah, they've gotten better, but they're still not where I thought they would be at this point. So I went Colorado.
Yeah, I went Colorado too. Like Colorado's better.
Manny went Avalanche.
Oh, no big snow thing there, Manny. Come on. Don't be slacking.
I just wrote Avalanche for these guys. Kenny and Manny. Okay. All right. NFL action. Got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans. That's 11:27.
Now's your chance right here, right? I'm gonna open up the door for you right here.
Yeah.
I'm going Cincinnati on the road.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going Cincinnati as well. So
gave you the opportunity.
And we picked these prior to us doing the show. So none of us, we don't know how the other guy's picking right now.
Mine are all circled right there. See?
Look at Manny with the little Bengals.
Oh, look at that.
Kenny, I guess everybody feels the same as we feel. 11:27. You got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Arizona Cardinals. I am going with the Bolts.
I also went with the Bolts. You ain't gaining on me like this.
It's not looking good, my friend. It's not looking good. Manny going the Bolts as well. Kenny, who you got, my friend? Let's see. Do we got another sweep here? Bolts as well. Starting to seeing a trend here.
Oh, have we all picked the same things?
Other than Manny picking the Kings because he won't pick any.
Oh yeah, and we know he's wrong there.
Yeah. So 11:26 tomorrow, big matchup in the World Cup. You got the Argentina versus Mexico.
I went Argentina. Like that to me was easy. And I don't care if they've lost before. Now they're just going to take it out on Mexico.
Manny drew up Argentina. That's their flag.
Yep.
Kenny's going Mexico. I also went Argentina. Yep.
Yeah, this is not looking good for you to catch up at all.
I'm going to be wearing a Boston Red Sox shirt and hat. 11:29, Ron. You got Iran versus the United States of America. United States, if they win this game, looks like they will go on to round of 16. So very big game for the United States.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with United States on this. I can't go against them. Not like this to me. I think this is the easiest decision out of all these games.
I also went United States. I just feel like, to your point, they are the superior team in this matchup. After today, I'm going with them. Yeah, great draw today with England. They played very well. And again, if you think about England's quality, won their first game, I think 6-2.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of upsets too.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think Denmark took a loss,
Yep. So if you guys haven't checked out Sports Unfolded just for kicks, Manny and Brian did a great job kind of breaking down the World Cup. We'll do another one when they round the 16. We're really looking forward to that as well. But 11:26. So tomorrow, big matchup in college football. Number 3, Michigan Wolverines at number 2, Ohio State Buckeyes. Who's picking? I'm up.
I'll go first, so that way you can have an opportunity.
No, I think I'm up first, but go ahead.
I went with number 2, Ohio. They're at home. I think that's a little bit of an advantage. I think the teams. This is supposed to be a good game, but somehow I think it's not going to be very good, like we had talked about before the game. I think Ohio runs away with it. Literally.
I am a Michigan fan, and I went Ohio State. I just feel like Michigan, their last game, they didn't play very well. They barely won. And I think they were looking past and looking towards the Ohio State. I think it's on their mind. And this is a very important game for them that I think they're going to fall apart. Manny, I think those are Wolverines. Yeah, those are Wolves. So Manny's going Wolverines. I thought he was going to throw an X-Men
That's
out.
one of my favorite ones right there.
You could have thrown an X-Men out.
Because like it's plural, so he had to put more than one.
Wolverines. Yes. That's pretty good. Very good, gentlemen. Very good. Good job. So
But still, Manny, you missed it on the Avalanche.
So no changes next week because we picked the same exact teams.
Do you want to throw another one in and just for the so you can try to gain one?
No, that's okay. It is what it is.
Like, isn't there a fight or anything like that?
I highly doubt it. Nothing worth. So let me ask you this, Ron. If you are interested in sponsoring the show, how can you do so if you're watching?
Well, you can just email us at ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. And it is very inexpensive. And I'm even going to flat out tell you what the first price is. The first time that you sponsor the show, it is $25 for 4 episodes. 4 episodes. So it comes out to $6.25 per episode. Like, you're not going to get a better deal than that. And you have permanently on the internet with all those eyes on you. It's a great deal. And you get to sponsor a great show.
Yeah. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on MeWe. We're on YouTube. So many different platforms. We are also on many of podcast formats. So if you look at how many podcasts we're on, Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, Red Circle, and TuneIn.
And others.
And we're also working on others as well. So not only will it be seen, it will be mentioned on our shows so that it can be heard on all of these podcasts as well. So many different ways to sponsor.
And it goes on all the social media too. So it'll get posted up on our Facebook, which has over 10,000 followers. And YouTube has over 1,100. And of course, there's always Twitter, Twitch, and the website. So it'll be seen. It'll be seen. And if you make one sale, you just made your money.
Yep. So definitely make sure you look us up to sponsor the show and follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, MeWe. There's so many different ways to watch, follow, join us. We do polls. We have all our polls up as well. So many different polls that are going up. So make sure you check out all of those different formats. And if you can and you'd like to donate stars and bits on Facebook and Twitch to continue to help support us. So we are, as we normally do, end our show on our final thought. And our final thought doesn't necessarily have to be about anything sports related. It can be about anything going on in the world today. Ron, you are first this week, my friend. So please enlighten us with your final thought.
My final thought goes out to World Cup fans. Look, every so often we get these tournaments and everybody gets to enjoy them around the world. But then there's those certain moments where a team, I don't know, maybe like Argentina or Denmark or somebody like that falls to a team that they're not supposed to lose against. Then hysteria happens. Didn't Saudi Arabia just like declare it a holiday after their
Yes,
big
after the
win?
upset over Argentina. Yes.
Right. So this just is proof that at any moment when you have one game you got to play, anything can happen. And that's what makes tournaments like the World Cup so wonderful to view, because you never know what could happen. And to all those teams that came up with the big wins in this tournament for the World Cup this year, congratulations on that. And hopefully it brings better times for your soccer team in the future, because that's the stuff that can spark interest. And hopefully we can get that with the United States team. And who knows, maybe soccer could start edging up the totem
Football.
pole and
Yes.
on the totem pole in sports in the United States.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because great final thought. And the funny thing is, I don't know if the soccer guys have changed us. So just for kicks, because my final thought is also about the World Cup. And it's about Cristiano
Thank you, Manny.
Ronaldo. And
he got a super sticker.
Oh, thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you, Manny. Appreciate all the support.
From a super fan.
Germany lost against Japan. Are you kidding?
Yes. I knew Japan won, but I couldn't remember who they beat. Now I remember.
Wow. Germany, 74% of the possessions of the ball, too. That's insane.
Yes.
What is going on in the World Cup?
And this is the great thing about the World Cup. Like anything can happen.
It's sports this year. Like all these teams that we wouldn't expect. It's kind of crazy. So my final thought was actually about Cristiano Ronaldo. And when we talk about GOATs, so Tom Brady, we consider him the GOAT in the NFL. He has become the first man to score in 5 different World Cups.
Yes.
If you think about how impressive that is, that's a 20-year span.
Yes.
And he scored in all of these in these 20 years.
That's
so
impressive.
It's pretty impressive. Not only, again, represents my heritage in Portugal, but you think about some of my grandson who's 8 years old, it knows who he is just based on what he's been able to watch on YouTube and all the videos. So he's been able, Messi, some of these guys that we really talk about, Neymar, who have brought the sport to the United States in different ways because of the World Cup.
Yes.
So knowing that he scored in 5 World Cups, think how impressive that was. I thought that was such a great feat.
That's a great one. That's a great point.
I consider him the GOAT of at least the World Cup, if not all the soccer. I mean, I know Manny would probably have a little bit of a debate on that.
Yeah,
but again, that's still really impressive to think about when you talk about a longevity. We talked about Tom Brady and how long he's been doing it. Cristiano Ronaldo's been doing it just as long and been pretty damn successful at it too. So,
oh, absolutely.
So,
he's a great athlete, certainly.
Yeah. So I want to thank you, Ron, for your time tonight. I want to thank all of those that joined us live: Cornelius, Sharla, Kenny, Manny. As always, Manny, you've been great. Kenny, you've been great.
Manny's a super fan now.
Manny's a super fan. Make sure you check out Just for Kicks with Manny and Brian. Phenomenal soccer knowledge. Those guys are great at what they do. Football, for those out there in the UK or anywhere else that may be watching. We do have football now for Sports Unfolded. Looking forward to those the next 16. And that show should be really interesting because we may have some teams we didn't expect to be in there. Ron, as always, my friend, it's always a pleasure. I will see you next Friday night. Those that are going to watch later on, make sure you follow us on all our social media outlets and continue to follow. And all we ever ask for in this world is peace.
Have a great night and weekend, everyone. See you next week.